Hello everyone, the AI investment cycle is still going strong, but the market has been very volatile, so many investors are wondering if this is a good investment to long term or not. Today, I want to talk about the CPUs, which could become the next major battleground in the AI investing during the rest of 2026 and for the long term. Okay, then let's get started. Until recently, investors have focused heavily on memory chips and GPUs, especially companies like Nvidia. But now, may be the right time to pay attention to CPU-related companies such as Intel, AMD, ARM Holdings, and Qualcomm. One important clue comes from Stanley Druckenmiller's latest 13F filing. Druckenmiller is a legendary Wall Street investor who has pursued average annual returns of more than 30% over roughly 30 years. He's so influential that some people call him the shadow president of the economy, and he has advised major figures such as Federal Reserve chairs and Treasury secretaries. In his recent portfolio, Druckenmiller sold shares of Google and Amazon. At the same time, he opened new positions in Intel, ARM Holdings, and Broadcom, which were not previously in his portfolio. He invested about $18.5 million in Intel and about $16.4 million in ARM. This suggests that he may also believe CPUs will play a much bigger role in the next stage of AI. So, why are CPUs becoming important again? The answer is that AI is moving beyond generative AI and entering the era of the agentic AI. In the early days of ChatGPT, AI mainly learned huge amounts of information and answered questions. For this type of work, Nvidia's GPUs became extremely popular because they can perform many calculations at the same time. However, agentic AI does much more than simply answers questions. For example, you might say, please plan my trip to Tokyo. The AI could check travel routes on Google Maps, search for flights and hotels, compare different choices, and even help complete the payment process. During this process, the AI must constantly manage different steps. It may need to change the plan based on the user's preferences, coordinate multiple apps, go back to the earlier step, and then continue the task. The CPU, not the GPUs, plays the main role in controlling this entire system. In an environment where AI must plan, make decisions, and complete actions instead of simply operating as a chatbot, demand for powerful CPUs that can handle complicated instructions is likely to rise sharply. This trend is not only a prediction. We are already seeing evidence across the semiconductor industry. According to the data from Taiwan-based research company TrendForce, GPUs were used much more heavily during the AI training stage. However, in the future agentic AI inference market, GPUs and CPUs may be needed at almost a 1-to-1 ratio to prevent system bottlenecks. Even Jensen Huang, the CEO of Nvidia and the most powerful company in the GPU market, has recognized the growing importance of CPUs. After introducing Nvidia's Grace CPU, the company also announced its Vera CPU. Huang explained that CPUs will become more important as AI systems call and manage many different tools. Company earnings are also showing this trend. Intel recently reported better than expected results and generated $5.1 billion in revenue from long-term contracts related to AI CPUs. ARM Holdings, which traditionally earned money by licensing semiconductor design technology, also made a surprising announcement at a recent event. The company said it plans to develop its own high-performance CPU chip designed for AI inference. The global CPU market is now divided into two major groups: the x86 architecture and the ARM architecture. First, the x86 group is the traditional leader. It began with Intel's 8086 CPU in 1978 and continued through the 386 and 486 PC era. It is general-purpose CPU design built to handle complicated instructions. Because most traditional PC software has been designed for x86 systems, it has a very powerful and well-established ecosystem. Intel and AMD are the main companies in this group. Intel remains a critical part of the American semiconductor supply chain and controls around 60% of the server CPU market. AMD holdings around 40%. AMD has an important advantage because it designed both CPUs and GPUs. By combining the two, AMD can reduce data bottlenecks and create strong performance benefits. On the other side is growing ARM Group. ARM technology became successful in mobile devices such as smartphones and laptops, where low power use and long battery life are extremely important. More recently, ARM-based chips have also been expanding aggressively into data centers and server markets, especially for large technology companies that need customized and energy-efficient processors. ARM Holdings leads this ecosystem. It earns large licensing fees from its chip designs and is now preparing to produce its own chips. Qualcomm is another important company in this group. After becoming a leader in mobile processors with Snapdragon, Qualcomm is now using its Orion CPU to expand into PC and server markets. Chips made by Apple and Nvidia are also based on the ARM architecture. As the AI market moves into the age of agentic AI, demand for CPUs could grow rapidly because companies must solve serious data and system bottlenecks. Whether the winner is the traditional x86 group or the energy-efficient ARM group, stronger competition between the two sides could make the entire CPU market much larger. For this reason, investors may not want to focus on only one technology or one company. A broader investment across major American CPU companies leading this transformation may be one of the smartest ways to prepare for the next battleground of the AI investment cycle. For investors who find individual stocks difficult, a semiconductor ETF may also be a good choice. One example is a SMH, a major semiconductor ETF. SMH has a large position in the leading companies such as Nvidia, TSMC, and AMD. It can be useful for investors who want to strong exposure to the largest and most powerful companies in the semiconductor industry.